how do we actually collaborate? How do we actually achieve this collaboration between sales, marketing, and customers? Now, you're going to have to forgive me for what I'm about to do because I teach in a business school and I couldn't give up the chance to bring a little bit of the business classroom into my presentation today. It's the only thing I'm going to do that with, but I thought I would throw up the classic adoption curve, or it's sometimes called the diffusion of innovation curve, right? And what we have going on here in the black is what market adoption looks like in an idealistic curve, right? You've got your early adopters and you've got that early majority and then the late majority. And so we're looking at market adoption in black. And then we're looking at, in the blue line, market share. And our goal, obviously, when it comes to what we're trying to do in our business is to capture market share, right? We all want to be market share leaders. That's what we're trying to do. So as we think about moving our business and moving our customers along these curves, a couple of different things are going through our thought process. And we're always doing these as we're working, and we just may not call it this. So I'm going to use business school language for a little bit, right? But we're trying to capture leads. If we're trying to increase market adoption of our solution, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to capture the leads, we're trying to qualify them, and we're trying to convert them by closing those deals. That's what we're trying to do, increase market adoption. Moving further up on the graph, we're trying to capture stories, right? If we haven't really tipped the market yet in terms of market adoption, we're paying attention to those early adopters. They might be those case studies, those best practices, the people that sign on to what we're doing early in the process. They might become our reference customers. We want to tell their stories. We want to put them in the videos and the case studies. We want to put them on our webinars so we can capture their stories and have other people hope that they will want to replicate that in their business as well. And so we tell their stories. There's another aspect of this curve that is often overlooked in our marketing, and it's that very front end. It's the innovators. That's where the good ideas come from. The research on this, and I told you I was going to get a little business school on you for just a minute. So the research on this shows that lead users are different from early adopters. See, they're the very front end of the curve before market adoption even takes off with those early adopters. A lead user is someone like Brent and Charlie. It's that person who develops the spreadsheet on their own and doesn't wait for marketing and the headquarters to figure out the official spreadsheet that has been blessed by finance and IT and legal and regulatory and all the other hoops that you may have to jump through. They're the ones that are out there doing it not because they want to drive market adoption. They're doing it because it solves a problem for them. They're doing it because it creates value for them, because they see a need. And so it might be a sales rep that is putting together their own collateral. Does that cause nightmares for anybody else? Oh yeah, right? Because it solves a need for them. Pay attention to that. They might be a lead user. There might be a good idea in there. A lot of them are rogue and they need to be brought back in. I totally get it. It's been a nightmare for me too. But every now and then there's a really good idea in there. That's where the good ideas come from. The research shows that when it comes to market breakthroughs, truly breakthrough innovations, that depending on the industry, depending on the technology, the breakthroughs will come from lead users anywhere from 10% to over 50% of the time. Now think about what that means. It means that companies do innovation through a lot of different things. We have product marketing, we have R&D, we do acquisitions, but it means that some percentage of the breakthrough ideas are going to come from people like Brent and Charlie who are just out there solving their own problem for themselves. Or that customer who is out there figuring out the ability to pair that transmitter with that device on their own. That's where we learned it from. We learned it from customers. It wasn't something that we learned from product marketing or R&D. They took existing capabilities and said, oh, we can do this. It's those lead users where the ideas come from, which brings up an interesting point. Remember, if we're thinking about the front end of the definition of thought leadership, then we're thinking about what we can capture. We're thinking about us. Can I be the authority? Can I be the expert? It's kind of self-oriented, so to speak. If we're thinking about just capturing leads, capturing stories, and capturing ideas, then we're stuck in that self-oriented mindset. But we have to co-create value. We can't do this on our own. So I would encourage you to not think just about capturing, but curating.